Welcome to Real Estate Update on WHHI-TV. James Wedgeworth, we really need an update because things have changed in the real estate market since I talked to you.
A lot going on.
Tell us what is happening. I mean, I remember there was a time it was so crazy. You could handle all the craziness well and multiple offers and homes on the market for an hour or a day. Not so now. Yes?
Correct, yeah.
Well, what's happening? Tell me about it.
Well, I knew that was the first question you was going to ask me, so I did a little research just to give you an idea. Okay. And I got it broken down to Hilton Head and Bluffton. Okay. In Hilton Head in March, we had 107 homes go into contract. In April, we had 89. June, we had 82. In October, we had 34.
It's kind of a big drop there.
Okay. In fact, I did like a 6 months average, the best 6 months versus now, 63% decrease in number of sales.
Okay.
Now, obviously, if you have a decrease in sales, you have an increase in inventory.
Which we kind of needed, did we not? I mean, there was not much out there at all.
There wasn't much for sale. I remember in April, there were 3 single-family homes in Hilton Head Plantation. Now, the percent of homes for sale, I think they're almost 4,000. I think they're 18 on the market now. You live in Long Cove. There was a 30-day time period we had 0 on the market in Long Cove. Then we had 1 come on the market. And now I think they're like 4 on the market. Wedgeworth, there was 1 on the market in March or 7 on the market now. So you've had the inventory is increased. Okay. So you have decrease in sales. It's still good, and I'll get to that in a minute. Decrease in sales, increase in inventory. Days on the market in March and April, the medium days on the market was running anywhere from 5 to 6 days.
I mean, that to me, even then, when we were talking about that, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, actually, it's probably a statistical error. Actually, probably it was really 1, but by the time they get the contract in, get the money in, it's 5 days.
The paperwork and all.
Okay, so you have homes staying on the market longer.
Now, you're saying, yeah?
Now, because there's less sales, more inventory, staying on the market longer, and the sales price relative to the list price in April, I actually looked this up. In April, it was 101.5%.
So the list price, people were paying up and above over.
Above the list price.
Okay.
1.5% above the list
multiple
price.
offers, or?
Yeah, if you get in a multiple offer situation, people say, well, I really want that house. And they say, well, we got 7 offers on it. And they say, well, I'll offer X, okay? Now, for the month of October, it's 97%.
So a bit
which
under.
Is still good.
Oh, that's still great, but a bit under list price.
4.5% differential between April and October on the list price. So you got 4 things. I summarized: higher inventory, less sales, longer days on the market, and percent of sales price to list price is dropped.
I want you to go over, because we've done Hilton Head. Can you go into some of those Bluffton numbers? Are you seeing the same thing?
Numbers. It's basically is 58% as opposed to 63%.
As far as the reduction in sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
In March, and this is all of Bluffton, which is everything over the bridge. So in March, we had 312 sales. In October, 110. April, we had 210 sales. May, we had 237. So you had 3 really strong months: March, April, May. At the end of May, we'll talk about this later, but interest rates went up. And then we've gone 149, 165, 189, 148, and 110.
You're not panicking over this, right?
No,
I mean, it was almost
panicking.
too unreal for a while there.
From round numbers, it varies. As you and I have talked before, all real estate is
local.
Local, and it's local within local, and it's local within locals, what we tell people. But approximately from January of 21 until May of 22, so what's that? That's 16 months. Your property went up 35% in value.
And you'd be doing a dance, but then you're saying, oh, now with this happening, my house isn't worth what it has been worth.
Okay. Every time
I'm
my
the devil's
wife,
advocate,
okay,
though,
every
okay?
time my wife sends me to the grocery store to pick up something,
You don't like to go, do you?
I don't like to go.
You told me that.
Because I'm going to have 5 people come up to me and say, how much is my house worth today? It's not worth what it was. There's some truth to that, but it's still a good market. It's not a crazy market.
Right. So in other words, the value has still increased.
Yeah.
It may have come down a little bit, but you're still far ahead of where you were.
Yeah, if you compare to January of 2021, if your house in May was up 35%, and it depends on where it is and the price range, it could, maybe you lost 4 or 5%,
Okay.
but you hadn't lost 50% of the increase.
Right.
So it hadn't gone down 17.5%.
We don't want to go back to year 2010 if we don't have, I don't even want to bring that up right now, but what I want to ask you is this. There are those people that probably said, oh, I'm going to wait to put it on the market. I'm going to wait till we really hit the peak. We hit the peak, and uh-oh. If they haven't listed by now, they're not going to be able to, at least if they want to sell it, list it for as much as they might have been able to a couple months ago, right?
Well, that's true. You got to look at the competition. If you have one house on the market, you can be a little, I hate to use the word greedy, but you can be a little greedy on your price. But if you got 5 houses in your price range area in the market, then you got to look at the competition. Now, the question people ask me, are we going to have a repeat of 2008 to 2010? I don't think so. Let me tell you why I don't think so.
And for people that weren't here, I mean, it was not pretty. We had a bunch of foreclosures. You could probably tell me more specifically. Nothing was going.
In 2010, 1 out of every 4 sales on Hilton Head Island was a bank foreclosure. And see, that set the market. Because the guy buying, he doesn't care if it's a bank foreclosure if you own it. If the bank foreclosure's got a better price, he's going to buy that house. But the reason I don't think you'll see that, and I'm very, very comfortable.
Can I say fingers crossed?
No, you don't have to say that.
Okay, don't be mad. Just asking.
Let me explain why. In 2005 to 2008, we had what we call no end users were buying. Everybody was a speculator. Everybody could get a bank mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really vetting anyone, right?
Yeah,
Anyone could
nobody,
get a mortgage.
In fact, I got a funny story for you. There was a subdivision outside of Naples, Florida. There were 800 lots that came on the market the same day, and they sold all 800 of them. 4 years later, guess how many houses were built in the subdivision? 0. Because all 800, nobody intended to build. They were all flippers.
Wow.
So what happens is the market crashed, the prices dropped, and there were no homes in there. So the buyers that we've had in the last 16 months, the good 16 months, weren't flippers. They were end users.
Sure.
The people coming down from the north. And the bank had tightened up, the government had tightened up.
Yeah, the government has made banks be more rigorous as far as checking people.
I don't think you're going to see the terrible market where I knew one guy that bought 52 houses, okay?
When?
In 2005.
Okay.
He obviously lost all 52 of them. But the banks were just, no doc loans, they were giving him loans, he couldn't afford them. It's what we call the greater fool theory, that he was buying them at price A thinking that he could sell them a year later at price B because there was a greater fool than him out there, and it just crashed the real estate market. So I get people every day saying, are we going to see a repeat of 2008? Just because the market softens a little doesn't mean that we're going to see a repeat of 2008 based on my, I hate to use the word professional opinion.
Well, how many, I mean, I don't want to inflate your ego. I think you feel pretty good anyway. But how many years have you been here selling real estate?
Oh, gosh,
I mean, you've seen it all.
That because
it's been over 30, right?
It's 41.
What?
Okay.
Are you serious?
I started very young.
Yes, I know. What, at 10? So here's my next question. If I want to put my house on the market, I mean, we're heading into Thanksgiving, Christmas. I mean, we're taping this in October 27th. Should I list now or wait?
Okay, the market is fairly good now. As I said, inventory is still traditionally low, even though it's higher than it was in April. So normally our market is very, very good to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I met a lady yesterday. I said, we need to get the house. She said, well, I got to paint this, paint this. No, we're getting it on the market today because we do still have buyers out there, okay? traditionally, the market slows down the Saturday after Thanksgiving and picks back up February the 14th.
And right before the Heritage, which helps a lot
Helps
too,
a
right?
lot.
You betcha. Well, you know, we're going to take a break now. I also want to let people know, if you have a question for James Wedgeworth about real estate, just go to our email address of news@WHHI-TV.com and just title, say, James Wedgeworth, type up your little questions, hit send, and you'll address it next time,
We'll
right?
be glad to.
Great. We'll be back with more in just a moment.